So in that last video, I said I was gonna do a drawing to see who gets the painting. Here we go. Dakota B. Thanks for being a subscriber. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna send this painting to you. Just put in the comments, I won this painting, and we'll go from there and figure out how to get this to you. 4 days, 3 nights on the road to just do something that, you know, nourishes my soul and just have some time to myself, to think, to pray, and to, of course, paint. My wife encouraged me to do this because we're getting ready to move to another country, and we're gonna have a lot of chaos and craziness going on very soon in our lives. I'm going to Savannah, Georgia, and I'm gonna be staying in an Airbnb right along the coast. So it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna do some beach walks, spend some time on Tybee Island. All right, I gotta get on the road. Just got into the B&B. Eventually I'll wander down to the beach, walk to the beach when it cools off just a little bit, and try to find a place to set up and paint. It's a half day today, so I figure if I just do one painting, that's probably good enough for day one. So I found a quiet little back road on the beach, and I like this little house right here. And I like how the sun is hitting it and how there's a shadow on it. I like the colors. I like the palm trees around it. I feel like I'm tucked away from the world. There's little beach houses all around, but I found some shade, so I think I'll put the peak right there. All right, so that would be like
So I've realized I'm not really good at doing voiceovers while I paint. I just don't really feel like I have much to say about the painting process. Anyway, I thought I would share this short story that I wrote. This is the story of Samuel and Sage. Samuel grew up on Tybee Island, where the tides told the time and the seagulls announced the morning. He was a fisherman, like his father before him, rising in the dark to push his boat into the rolling Atlantic. Salt air, creaking wood, and the rhythm of the waves were all he ever needed. But deep inside, Samuel longed to give his family more. His wife Sage deserved more than patched dresses and nights spent counting pennies by lamplight. One evening, as they sat rocking on the porch, he confessed, "Sage, I can't give you the life you should have. Love fills the heart, yes, but it doesn't fill the pantry." She looked at him with the calm patience he had always admired in her. "Samuel, we're not poor in the ways that matter." He shook his head. "Still, I'll not see you go without. I've decided to find work in Savannah." So Samuel left the sea behind. In Savannah, he became a banker. He memorized the art of numbers and ledgers and dressed in a fine suit. Money came, but after a while, so did misery. Each day, his spirit grew dimmer, the ocean further away. One night, Sage found him sitting silent at their kitchen table early in the morning, about the time he would have gotten up to go fishing. "You look like a man half gone," she said gently. "I thought gold would make us happy," Samuel muttered. "But every day I sit behind that desk, I feel my life slipping away from me." Sage placed her hands on his sagging shoulders. "Then listen, Samuel. I'd rather be poor and live with a man who smells of the sea than rich with a husband who looks like a ghost." The next morning, Samuel quit his job at the bank and he returned to Tybee Island. When the first breath of salt air filled his lungs again, he laughed like a boy. Fishing returned to him as naturally as breathing, and soon his crab traps overflowed with fat blue crabs. One evening, as the baskets filled the dock, Sage studied them with thoughtful eyes. "You know, Sam," she said, brushing her hands on her apron, "you could do more than just sell these crabs at the market." He raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "Cook them. Share your love for the sea with others. My brother has the gift in the kitchen, you know that. And you still have that friend in Savannah, the one who understands business. If the three of you work together, we could build a place right here on the island. Not just a living, Samuel, a life that blesses others." Samuel stared at her, the idea sparking like a flint in his heart. "A crab house by the sea," he muttered. Then his grin spread wide. The next day, Samuel could hardly wait to take the idea to Savannah. Samuel brought in his old banking friend to handle the money and hired Sage's brother as the cook. Their small shack by the docks opened with little more than wooden tables and steaming pots of crab. But word traveled fast. Locals packed the place the first week, but by the end of the summer, people rode in from Savannah and even Charleston to taste Samuel's catch. One night, the dining room buzzed with laughter, the air thick with butter and spice. Samuel leaned against the doorframe, watching his love for the sea fill the hearts and bellies of everyone there. His old banker friend nudged him. "You've built something greater than gold, Sam, and you're richer now than you ever were in Savannah." Samuel breathed in the salty breeze drifting from the docks. "Yes," he said, smiling at Sage from across the room. "But the true treasure is knowing I've come home." So Samuel became the wealthiest man on Tybee Island, not because he chased riches, but because his wife's wisdom guided him back to the sea, to his calling, and to his joy. And even though Samuel had enough money to buy the biggest house on Tybee Island, he bought a nice but humble one instead, to remind himself that wealth alone cannot bring joy. Wealth and happiness come together when you do what you were made to do and listen to the wisdom of those who love you. I don't even know why I make these videos other than I kind of feel a little bit like Samuel. It just brings me joy to paint. It brings me joy to create. And I've even found a lot of joy in just making these videos and telling little stories. And there's something about just sharing what I love to do with others. I don't know, it's blessing me, and I hope it's blessing some of you. And I think as long as, I'm getting something out of doing these videos, and there are some people watching the videos that are getting something out of it, I think that the channel will be around for a while. Yeah, I'm gonna paint anyway, whether I make videos or not. I might as well record them. And I hope that I can somehow bless you through the videos. I can relate to Samuel because I spent a long time in my life very depressed. And it wasn't until I started following Jesus and I became a Christian, surrendered my life to God, and I felt like I was living the life I was supposed to be living. It wasn't until that happened that I was released from that depression and I found joy in life. I also took up art again. I used to love it when I was younger, but I gave it up for a long time to focus on things that I shouldn't have been focused on. And but now, I don't know, my life is filled with so much more joy. I never thought that this life would take me to another country to share my faith, and I never thought I'd be a painter like this. I never thought that I'd be making YouTube videos, but I don't know, God has brought so much joy into my life, and I'm happy to share it with all of you. So I guess in that way, I kind of feel like Samuel. Anyway, I hope that this little story has blessed you, and I hope that you're getting something out of these videos, and I hope you enjoyed this little painting session on Tybee Island.
All right, so it wasn't as hot as I expected, but the mosquitoes are eating me alive. So I'm gonna get back to the B&B and get some dinner, get some rest, call it a night. By the time this trip is over, this trunk is gonna be filled with paintings. Day 1 is in the books. Day 2 coming up.